energy. Let's go, plug in eco energy. Go, let go. Go, that eco energy. You know.
Welcome back to Plugged In with Eco Energy. I'm joined again here today with Conrad, who heads up our EV division, and today's part two of that first podcast we started. We're going to be diving into commercial EV chargers, what that's all about, how much it costs, what people need to do in order to get ready for it. So let's start off with the why question. So why should a business consider EV chargers, Conrad?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are really three main benefits to having EV chargers. The first one is that you're attracting EV driving customers, right? And EV driving customers tend to be in the top 20 percentile of earners, right? So they're the people with the most money, the people that you want at your business. They offer a really valuable perk to your employees, right? They are measured, right? So 60% of employees are looking for EV charging when they look for a job. And
I'm going to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
I just got approached from somebody last week. They have a couple salesmen. Salesmen bought their own EVs, and they're looking for a place to charge while they're sitting at the office getting their marching orders for the day. So this is like a real applicable topic here.
Yeah, absolutely. So your employees will benefit from having EV chargers on site.
Right.
It also positions your business as an eco-conscious business and innovative, right? So 80%
Innovative.
Either way, right? But 80% of consumers consider a business to be more technologically advanced when it has electric vehicle chargers.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So
I know when I pull up to a place, you can look at like large companies that have taken this on.
Yeah.
You can't go to a Meijer grocery store and not find Tesla chargers in their parking lot.
Exactly.
And, kind of taken off of that, recently we got some news about Walmart. And Walmart is putting EV charging stations in all of their shopping centers. Is that correct?
That's correct. 100% of the Walmart shopping centers, I believe right now they're targeting 2030 as the completion date for that, will have DC fast chargers. Every single one of them.
Well, if Walmart's doing it, me as a small guy, I should be thinking about it too, right?
How are you going to compete if you don't have it?
Right. Very true. So let's talk numbers. What are the benefits, financial benefits, say, let's start off with an easy one, retail.
Right.
What are the financial benefits for a retail shop installing EV chargers in front of their stores?
Yeah. So the financial benefit in retail is very straightforward, right? You're charging your customers for the ability to charge at your business, right? So say you charge on a DC fast installation, you could be charging anywhere from 50 to 60 kilowatt, 50 to 60 cents per kilowatt that EV driver uses, right? And that is largely profit, right, in our area.
So for a business, what's the cost per kW hour, and then what are they charging?
So typically the cost per kilowatt for a commercial account would be between 14 and 15 cents.
Okay.
Right? And you're charging anywhere from 50 to 60 cents. Okay. So it's
4X.
A high, right? It's a high margin utility there.
Right.
You also have the added benefit of dwell time, right? An EV Go survey showed that dwell time in a commercial space that has EV chargers increases significantly. And those people...
What does dwell time equate to?
Yeah, so it equates to about $1 of spend per minute that a customer is at that location, right?
So if they charge for an hour, I can expect
$60.
another $60 in sales. That's
exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you're...
Big motivator.
Yeah, exactly. Businesses near EV chargers also saw a 5% increase in consumer spending.
For doing nothing else.
For doing nothing but
for
being
charging
close
people to charge their cars near my business, I'm going to increase 5%.
Exactly.
It sounds pretty good to me. Sorry, brain fart.
You're good.
How how about some other businesses? We talked about retail a little bit. Let's talk about why somebody with apartments may want to consider installing EV chargers at their building.
Yeah, so multifamily is a really big market that is actually largely untapped right now.
Okay.
Now, you think about where people spend most of their time,
Right.
right? Their number one place is at home,
Okay.
right? Because they're spending on average 8 hours sleeping every night,
Yeah.
and then a couple hours on each
Cooking
bookend
dinner.
of that. Exactly, yeah.
Doing this, doing
Yeah.
that.
And, so if you don't have charging at your workplace, then your options are to either charge at home or to charge at a DC fast charger, which, as we just talked about, is expensive, right?
Right. So if I'm charging at home,
Mm-hmm.
at night at my apartment building, very convenient for me.
Yep.
Let's talk about what that tenant looks like, because this is a
Yeah.
big deal.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just attracting, tenants who aren't going to pay.
Right.
We're talking about,
The top 20% of revenue earners
Okay.
are EV drivers, right?
so you're not finding EVs along real low end.
Very
Okay.
rarely.
And does
Very
that
rarely.
increase the time that they're going to stay at your apartment?
Yeah, it does increase the time that they stay, right? Because they're not inconvenienced. They're not
Right.
looking for a place to go.
Right.
It also means that you can charge $100 more per door if you even have EV chargers at the premises, right?
Okay. So increased rent.
Yep. Say you have a 24-door building, 24-unit building.
Right.
You're just automatically, by having EV chargers, you're $2,400 ahead every single month, right?
Okay.
And that's not the end of the revenue generation, because
Oh.
you can still charge those customers to use the electricity to charge the car. That doesn't
Yeah.
have to be free.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get revenue from increased rents.
Yep.
I have less turnover in
Yep.
my units.
Exactly.
I can charge them for charging their car.
Yep.
So I'm
Revenue.
making a little cash on that deal.
Exactly.
Right? And then does it improve my property value as well?
It does. Anywhere from
Okay.
3 to 5% higher. And that's a statistic. That's not just pulling it out.
Right.
They appraise for 3 to 5% higher
Okay.
if they just have EV chargers on premises.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How about office buildings?
Yeah.
Or-
So we just talked about, right? The
Yeah.
two big places to hit them.
Right.
Is where they're at for 8 hours at their work, and where they're at when they sleep, which is at their home. So,
Yeah, I read the other day in a study that we have a 64% increase in daytime charging in
Yeah.
EVs. And conversely, there has only been a 22% increase in EV chargers at workstations.
Right.
So what is that telling us?
that's telling us that there's a disconnect, right?
Yeah.
That the workplaces aren't adapting to the new meta
As
of
quickly?
people charging during the day.
Right.
Exactly.
So if I put those in my business, I can
Mhm.
attract good talent,
Exactly.
and they don't have to leave early because they got to go charge their car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be more focused at work because they're not going to be thinking about, oh, I have to go find a charging station after
Right.
that.
Right.
That's taken care of, right?
Wow. Yeah. Fantastic. So we got last week we talked about EV residential chargers, level 1, level 2.
Mhm.
So now we get into the commercial side of that. There's no level 1 at all. We can pick from a level 2 or a DC fast charge,
Yeah.
correct? And can you break that down? Cost? Well, maybe not cost yet, but break it down as to what they are and why we would choose either one.
Right. So that's the biggest distinction that we have here is level 2 and level 3.
Okay.
A level 2 charger is going to take anywhere between 4 and 8 hours to charge your battery from a 20% to an 80%.
So that's
charge.
if I'm sitting at my desk all day, I can be out there,
Exactly.
plugged it in.
Yeah.
Right. And those are lower cost units, right?
Those are significantly lower cost
Okay.
units. Those units start at about $2,000 per installation,
Okay.
and they do go up from there depending on what you're looking for,
What
and
options, what
suits your needs
features.
best.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Okay.
But they start at about $2,000 per, and it
Okay.
takes anywhere from 4 to 8 hours to go from 20% to 80% on an EV battery, which is
So,
really,
yeah, that sounds like it's fantastic.
right.
What about? Let me ask you this. My building is pretty tapped out on electrical.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Do we have to upgrade our existing service, or how does that work?
Yeah. So not necessarily. Your existing service may work with something called a load shedding device, or in software, we can actually turn it down to manage it dynamically.
Right.
But a lot of the time, we don't actually have to do that. With some of the ComEd rebates that we utilize, we're able to bring in a completely new service for these EV chargers
Right.
completely for free because ComEd is really pushing EVs right now.
Okay, so we're looking at if your building is stretched to the max on electric,
Yep.
don't worry, we've
Mhm.
got a solution.
Yep.
And it's a no-cost solution essentially to the
Pretty much,
customer.
yeah.
Okay, great, fantastic. Um, okay, you were getting into the DC fast chargers.
Yeah. So DC fast charging is when you want to charge for 45 minutes or less, right?
Okay.
When you want to get in and out and get a top off.
This is
on
retail
the
space mostly.
mostly retail
Yeah.
space because if you install like a level 2 charger at retail, it's not going to motivate your customers because they
Right.
don't want to be there sitting for 8 hours.
Right.
They want to get in, get out, and that's when you can really heavily monetize the actual electricity as well as that dwell spent that they have, right?
Right.
So say they're there for a half an hour.
Right.
Per customer, that's $30 extra on average per
How much am I
transaction.
making off of them charging that car for say an hour?
Yeah. So you're making in between $20 and $50.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So you get $20 and $50 there. And then
Exactly.
when they come in my shop, I make an extra $60.
Mhm.
It's $110 per customer
Per transaction.
per transaction.
And they're going to leave with a smile on their face because they got 2 to-do list items off their plate.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot for people to do. So what goes into planning a commercial site? We're talking about cell phone tower studies. We're talking
Right.
about planning with the ComEd
Right.
engineers and making sure we have powers. Walk me
ADA
through
compliance,
this.
everything.
Yeah, ADA compliance. Oh, yeah, there's a lot that goes into this.
There really is.
Yeah.
So in our initial site assessment, basically we come to your site, we talk to you about what you actually need, we make recommendations on what can be best, and we figure out how much power availability you have, like we just talked about, see if we have to bring in more power or if we can tap on into existing.
Okay.
Your parking layout. Do you need all of the parking? What's going to be best for putting the EV chargers? Where does it go? ADA compliance to make sure that you're supporting everybody in the EV charging and that you're compliant with any standards that come out in the future.
Yeah. Do municipalities have codes on these?
So some do, some don't.
Okay.
And that's why we really go in and we look future proof, right?
Okay.
How do we make this so that you're going to be compliant today as well as moving forward?
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the $1 million question. How much is this going to cost me?
And that I'm actually really excited to talk about.
Okay.
Because I think we have some really innovative solutions to bring that cost down for you.
Okay.
So we work with ComEd, right?
Right.
Or EVSP, Electric Vehicle Service Providers,
Okay.
in their network.
Right.
So what that allows us to do is that allows us to cover up to 100% of the costs that are classified as make-ready.
Okay.
So make-ready is essentially anything except the actual charging unit and the installation time on just that unit, right?
Okay.
So a few hours.
But that's not the major part of the project.
Right. Yeah.
The major part of the project is the make ready, right?
Exactly.
Which
Especially on those DC fast chargers.
Yeah.
Because they take so much power. It's unlike almost anything else out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to run a DC fast charger on my existing power supply, likely.
Very, very rarely.
Right.
Don't expect it for
Okay.
anything. Yeah.
So, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So we work with ComEd to cover all of the make-ready expenses. And then, those chargers, those DC fast chargers start at about $30,000 a piece.
Ooh.
Now, say you want to put 2 of them in. Do you want to shell out $60,000 right now?
Yeah, that's a lot of money to come up front. I know we've done a couple assessments for people that were, looking at putting in 4 chargers or 6
Exactly.
chargers.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of upfront costs. How
The
do
numbers
we
start to add up really quickly.
Yeah.
So
how do we make that less painful for our customers?
So what we've done is we figured out a way to make it so that you can sign up for a $0 down 5-year leaseback program.
Okay.
And the really cool thing that we found with that is, especially paired with the ComEd EV rebate,
Right.
most of the time your charging every single month that's coming in is more than covering that leaseback program.
Wow.
So you're essentially getting these things put in
Cash flow
for
positive.
cash flow positive.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then in 5 years,
Mhm.
it's a $1 buyout,
Single
right?
dollar buyout.
Yeah,
So if
$1
if your payment is $1,000 a month, your last payment will be $1,001, and you now own those units.
Okay. Wow. So 5 years in, we get to call them ours.
Mm-hmm.
What's the typical shelf life of a unit, like in
Yeah.
use? How does that work?
Yeah, so typically you can expect about 10 years out of a
Okay.
good EV charger.
So 5 years worth of paying for it, then I
Mhm.
get the next 5 years of cash flow for
Reap the
me.
benefits, exactly.
What about maintenance? Is there software I need to learn? Do I have to have my IT guy in there? These are a lot of questions that I hear from potential customers.
Yeah.
Run me through that.
Yeah, those are really great questions. So we have actually partnered with a local company, and with them, we provide a turnkey software solution, right? So we essentially, we come in, right? We install the chargers. They then set up those chargers with the software for your team, right? So everything is completely set up to where that EV driver, right, driving down the road, say they're low, right, and they don't even know that you have EV chargers. They can see right on their map that you're a place that exists. They can see how much you charge and how fast that charger is, right? Now, maintenance is covered in that plan. Software is covered in that plan. A cellular connection, so we don't even have to tap into your internet in your building, is
Right,
covered in
right.
that plan.
Yeah, that you bring up an interesting point there because I was thinking we want to be eco-friendly company. We
Of
want to
course.
show the world that we have EV chargers. How do people find out that we even have an EV charger?
Yeah.
Much less trigger them to come and spend $60 an hour.
Of course, yeah. So, one of the really cool apps that has become very popular around the world, pretty much every single EV driver has it, is an app called PlugShare, right? And PlugShare is very impressive. It's a network of every single DC fast charger that's publicly available. It'll show you how fast that charger is, how much that charger costs per kilowatt, right? And then it can even show you if it's available.
So it's kind of like gas prices, right?
Exactly.
It'll advertise the price up front. That
Yep.
way you know what you're getting into.
You know exactly.
And if you want to be competitive on it, you can lower your price. Can you adjust your pricing?
Oh yeah, you can adjust your pricing. You can have it set to adjust by the hour of the day, so
Okay.
that when things get busier, you're essentially charging a demand charge to use it.
All right.
And that's how Tesla operates. That's how pretty much every big player operates.
I'm going to take one step backwards
Okay,
here
yeah.
because we're talking about charging for, effectively for charging our vehicles.
Mhm.
I have an office. I want my staff to be able to charge for free.
Yeah.
Say for free or say 50% off
Right.
as an employee perk
Yeah.
for, making an eco-friendly decision and deciding to go green. And we want to promote that in our
Yeah.
business. So how can I offer that to my employees?
Yeah, so that's a really cool idea, and many workplaces are moving towards that. Right, it's taking off in the workspace, and you can do that essentially through that same software package. Right,
Okay.
so you can have us install the chargers. We can still utilize that ComEd EV rebate,
Right.
and we can set that software up so that everybody has it's an app. Right, so you get an app on your phone. You get there, you just present your app right to the machine, and it authenticates that charging.
Right.
Now, on the back end, you can see exactly who's charging, how much they're using. You can set custom charges for any individual person or just classes of people, right?
Okay.
So, say your general employees can charge at cost.
Okay.
And then your C-suite employees can charge for, maybe you want to let them charge.
No, you
completely
charge
for
them
free.
more. They're making more money.
Make some money back on that investment with those guys.
Okay, that sounds great. I'm really interested in this.
Mhm.
I think it makes sense that I can actually get these installed with on the leaseback program, no money out of pocket. How does that? How do we get started with that?
Yeah. So the best step to get started is to give us a call, right? Our company phone number is 708-872-8404, and press into the EV division. I'll answer the phone. My name is Conrad, and we'll get you in the process of, we'll do a free site walkthrough, right? That includes a cellular survey, that includes talking to you to figure out exactly what you need. and we'll get the ball rolling.
And I've seen those assessments are very, very thorough. We'll explain everything to you up front. There'll be no hidden costs. You'll know exactly what you're aiming for when you're going in. On that topic, we talked about the ComEd Make Ready program, which is a fantastic program, but every year they run into issues with budget.
Exactly.
Right? So we ran out this year in what month?
June.
So for 6 months or somewhere around 6 months, we were able to get people approved, and now they're on the wait list for 2026.
Exactly.
So how do we get set up for next year?
Yeah.
If we're interested in doing that.
Yeah. So you make that call, right? Get us out there as soon as possible, because not only does the funding run out in our experience every year we've been in the program, but also every year the funding decreases a little bit.
Okay, so if you want to get on this train, you better get on it quick. Otherwise, everything is going to be coming out of your pocket, and nobody wants that.
Yeah.
As long as we're getting incentivized to put these in, it makes a whole lot of sense to go down that path.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. There was one other topic I was trying to think of, and it just keeps eluding me. But I think we've got a lot of the basics covered.
Yeah.
You had mentioned about getting a hold of us through our phone or filling out our contact us form on the website, www.ecoenergy, the numerical number 1.com, ecoenergy1.com. You can see it in the show notes. And also, you got any parting thoughts for us as we close this up?
Yeah. The most important thing is to act fast, right?
Okay.
This is EV charging is going to be everywhere. And you need to be thinking about how can you position your business as a leader in the space instead of a follower who's trying to get on at the last second.
Yeah, and playing catch up.
We're in a really golden age right now where we're not right at the beginning, right? So we've had people who have gone before us and fallen into pitfalls that we didn't know about because it was brand new.
Right.
But now a lot of that has been fixed, right? But it's not at a point yet where the market is saturated, where there are EV chargers at every corner. So
I know you brought it up on our last episode,
mm-hmm.
and we'll bring it up again because this is something that is not changing. EVs are here; they're here to stay, and either we're gonna put in EV chargers and go with the flow, or we're going to get run over by our competition. Mm-hmm. Walmart sees that, Kroger sees that, a lot of big box retail sees that, and it's going to be up to these individual store owners, employers to put EV charging stations at their facility. 1 in every 4 new cars in 2025 sold was an EV. Yeah. We're coming into fourth quarter here. I don't think that number is going to change a whole lot.
No.
Next year, it's going to be more. And by 2030, they anticipate 1 in every 2 cars, new cars sold, will be an electric vehicle. You're not going to escape this. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And as rebates run out, we don't know what that's going to look like. The infrastructure cost is the highest expense on most of these projects. I know we're adding EV chargers right now with people who they're converting their fleets, their delivery fleets over to EV, and you may as well get the incentives while they're here. You may as well get the financing while it's available. To my knowledge, I don't know of another electrical contractor who has access to these kind of deals.
No.
So let's get after it and get on it, guys. It's up to you to make that decision. Be a leader in your business community. Be a leader as an apartment house owner. Be a leader as an office owner, and get these EVs installed. They will pay you back in dividends. You'll thank us later. We've got a lot of happy customers that thank us later.
Yeah, all right. Read our Google reviews.
Oh yeah, read the Google reviews. You'll love it. Thank you, Conrad, for being part of this. I really appreciate all you do. You're a wealth of knowledge, and anybody has access to Conrad. Call our main line. Option 2 is Conrad's direct line, and he will get with you and answer all of your questions. We look forward to seeing you out in the field, and as always, on the next episode of Plugged In with Eco Energy. Thanks, guys.